everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Smash Factor TV. My name's Natalie Adams, and today we're going to have a look at how to hit that low flighted but very high spinning wedge into the green that's going to give you one bounce on the green and then check and pull back. So we're going to have a look at how to increase your spin rate for those type of pitch shots. So I'm going to hit two shots in here from the bay using the TrackMan. Then we'll look at the data and the difference in spin rates, and you can see how one of the shots I get to release forward and one of the shots I get to pull back. So we're looking for about 40-yard pitch here. So first one in. That's pretty good for 40 yards. So one way you can increase your spin rate is to hit the ball harder, but what I'm going to try and do here is hit the ball the same distance, so you can see it's not my swing speed that I'm using to increase spin rate, because when you're pitching into the green, obviously you can't really increase the speed that you hit the ball, because otherwise you'd hit the ball further. So two shots there, both look pretty good for 40 yards. One's just released down the green, whereas the other one has bounced and then just grabbed and checked. Let's have a look at the TrackMan data so that you can see what the difference is between those two shots. Okay, so we're over at the TrackMan screen now, just having a look at the two shots that I've just hit here. And the first one that I've hit out there, you can see it's gone 38 yards of carry, and I've hit it with a club speed of 44.8 miles an hour, and the total distance that ball has gone is 44.8 yards. So it landed at 38, it's gone 44, so I've got 6 yards of run on that shot, and you can see my spin rate there was 3,400 on that shot. Now if we look at the next shot, just have a look here guys at the height that shot's gone out at. This next shot's a much lower shot, so you see it drops down on the TrackMan image there, but look at how much the spin rate has gone up. So this shot I've hit 38 yards, the last shot I hit 38 yards, but this shot has actually pulled back by 0.2, so it's just totally grabbed on the green when it's landed. The club speed is actually a touch slower, so I haven't generated more spin from hitting the ball harder. So you can see quite clearly there was a massive increase in spin rate on one of those shots versus the other one. One released down the green and the other one stopped and grabbed and even checked back a little bit. So the main thing we want to look at, first of all, if you wanted to play this very high spin wedge shot, is that you do need to make sure that your club face is absolutely clean. Make sure the grooves are very clean, and also that the grooves are nice and sharp. So if you've got a really old wedge, it's time to look at updating that. Now I played this shot with my 54-degree wedge, because ideally what we're looking for is a launch angle so that when you launch the ball out, it goes out at about 30 degrees. If you think, if this is upright and vertical and here's flat to the floor, so 45 degrees of launch would be that midpoint there, so 30 degrees just below that. So play this with your 54-degree wedge, but the way you've got to get that lower launch is you must play with your hands forward. So you can see that if your hands are back and on this side of the ball as you're playing, it increases the loft on the club face. Now the way we're increasing spin here is to increase the friction between the ball and the club face. So we need to keep the ball on this club face for as long as possible. So we want to strike very low down off the bottom groove. We don't want the ball or seeing the strike mark high up on the face. So spray the face, have a look at where you're actually connecting. We want a very low down strike mark on the bottom groove. We also want the ball to be slightly off centre. We don't want a centred strike. If you hit slightly from the toe, then there's more club face for the ball to get forced up, so there's more friction will be created, and then you will create a higher spin rate with that. So slightly off centre hit, slightly towards the toe, very low down on the face, and we want to make sure that the hands are forward. So when you set up, I would play the ball just left of centre of the stance. Hands pushed forward, so get the hands feeling opposite the left thigh. So we've got this forward lean in the shaft, and we've got the hands and the handle of the club more to the left and closer to the target than we've got the club head. Club face is aiming at the target, so when you push your hands forward, don't open the club face. Make sure the club face keeps pointing down the target line. Hands forward. The absolute key to this now, we must play the shot with the hands forward, but the absolute key is to have a very gentle and shallow angle of attack into the ball. The more you hit down, you may think that would generate more spin, but in actual fact it doesn't. We need a very, very gentle shallow angle of attack back into the ball. So a good thing to practice here would be to get the feeling that you're going to drag the club along the floor. So it's not really dropping down really steeply. We're going to keep the club head pretty low to the ground so that as it comes in, we've got a very gentle angle of attack as we go through the ball. The best way to play this shot is to not take a divot. If you're taking a divot, you're hitting down too steeply, and we need to shallow that out. Now, one way that you can shallow your angle of attack out would be to make sure your weight is much more even. The more you lean on your left side, the more it's going to make you pick the club head up steeply, so you'll attack down. So I would keep the weight very, very even, keep the ball left of centre, hands really forward, and then we're going to swing the club back, and as you swing through, really work on taking a gentle shallow angle of attack through, left hip getting nice and high, right hip getting nice and low as you turn through the shot, because that also will help you to shallow your angle of attack out. It will really increase your spin rate if you're doing those things. It's a game-changing golf tip.